The future of Alexander Isak, of course, has been fantastic since making that move from La Liga to the Premier League. Very much the star of Newcastle's show. Eddie Howe, speaking about his future today, said he is not for sale. From my perspective, I want to build a squad and I want the strongest squad possible for next season. There's a lot to look forward to here. Hopefully, the end of the season is crucial for us. Newcastle, of course, away against Brighton before that big game against Chelsea. I get a feeling this is something we're going to be talking a lot about, Jules, yeah?
Yeah, and I think Eddie Howe is watching right now, so we can tell him you're not going to decide anyway. So we don't really care what you think, who you want to keep. It's not your call. So it's not on you. If the right price comes, for sale or not for sale, he's going, especially if Newcastle are not in the Champions League next season, because he's been very clear with the club. He has to play in the Champions League. He's one of the best number 9s in the world. It's mad that the guy didn't play any European football this season, and it's not right, and he knows it. So I'm sure Eddie Howe wants to keep him, and Tonali and Bruno and all these big players, but he's not the one that's going to decide. And I think Isak, if there's no Champions League football for Newcastle next season, will come and knock at the sporting director's door and the CEO and say, listen, I'm sorry, but I'm going.
Go on, Frank.
But that would be absolutely insane to see Isak going to another contender for the next season. I mean, to sign for Liverpool or Manchester City or I don't know, or Arsenal, because Arsenal needs a striker. That would be insane. I mean, that's putting the ballot into your foot, and that would be crazy because they have ambition next season. Selling your best striker, maybe your best player, is committing a kind of a suicide, and I wouldn't understand that. You can sell him to Real Madrid, maybe, or they don't need it, but to another club abroad. But to sell it to a contender in the Premier League will be absolutely crazy and not professional. I think, yeah, you need money, but I think you can sell Isak to another championship, but not the Premier League. I wouldn't understand that.
Alexander Isak is the type of player that gives you a gauge about what your club is all about. For your supporters, for the media, and for your own playing staff and your manager. Because he's the type of player, and it's not, when you look at a club's ambition, it's not just the players that they bring in, it's the players that they keep. Mm-hmm. And Alexander Isak is one of them where if Newcastle do want to build and push Champions League football, potentially, title charge, then they have to show that they're big enough and strong enough to see off any huge bid that comes in. Now, that might not please the player, and there could be some sort of offset to that, but it is a gauge to the outside world if people come in with 100 million or what it is for Alexander Isak and Newcastle bat it away continually and say, this player is not for sale. When you start selling your top players, that's telling you have limited ambition. Now, there are other factors, of course, and I don't want to get into with the profit and sustainability. Oh. I'll leave that to others. But it is a clear sign to me, and it'll be a clear sign to Eddie Howe, and Jules is right, because he won't know, is how much are they going to back him and how much do they really want to keep the top stars and push. Because once you start selling your top stars, the dominoes start to fall and the rest of them want to go as well, because you're playing your cards and you're not playing a very good hand.